make $100,000 your first year selling tea. I'm going to explain to you how to do so in this video, but before I do, I want to share with you, there's a much shorter video about the attributes you need to do this successfully. It's right here in the YouTube link. I reference books, attributes, what you need to do to be successful in doing so. So let's get started. Number one, you have to be aggressive. What do I mean by being aggressive? You have to be okay with taking risk, and not just little baby risks. A lot of people who join into the tea entrepreneur community do so relatively little, step by step. Maybe they wanted to start a tea business for years. They've been more than qualified with how much tea they have in their cabinet, but they just didn't want to pull the trigger. And that's because they are on the more conservative side, and that's okay. But if you want to make money, you got to put that money on the table and take a risk. The people who are the most successful in business, they are risk takers. People don't just inherit money generation after generation and grow it. No, you have to really put that money to work. And when it comes to tea entrepreneurship, and if you want to make $100,000 a year, million plus a year, you got to take risks. That is number one, being aggressive. Number two is you have to understand sales. Sales is different if you're selling online. Sales is different if you're here at a cafe. Sales is different if you're going knocking on doors and you are cold calling people. There's a different set of sales, and you have to understand, if you are wanting to grow your business, there are direct to consumer sales, there are business to business sales where you're selling to cafes, you're selling to other tea companies, you are selling to hotels. Understanding sales is not just a concept, you really need experience. If you want to be successful in selling tea, you have to have some sales experience. Disclaimer, my first year, we hit $116,000 in sales, and we were selling like, $8 to $12 bags, but that's because I worked my butt off. I had no sales experience before. I was in the Navy for 5 years. Before that, I was a pizza delivery guy, and I was just kind of like one of the regular teenage high school kids who went to public school in Los Angeles. That's the type of guy I was. Really didn't have that experience, but I was very, very aggressive, and because of that, I was able to compensate. And by the 5th year, we hit $1 million in sales. We're now in our 13th year, and we have tea entrepreneurs who work for the Zen's Tea House company under the Zen's Tea House brand that are making $100,000 plus, 6 figures, running their own tea business. And they are aggressive in their risk taking, and they know how to do sales. Number three is they're intelligent. I sat down with my assistant and we broke down who were the most successful people in our business, in our sales team, in our company, and all of them had in common a few things. They were able to take risks, they understood sales. Understanding doesn't mean they're always the best at sales. Okay, that's a different thing. They understood sales to where they can hire the right people to make their sales be successful, but they were intelligent, and not just intelligence intellectually, not just college educated, although most of them are college educated. There are some who are not, and those guys are still kicking butt. They're smart enough to understand that they don't know it all. They're smart enough to know that if they type in ChatGPT or Google, that they're going to get somewhat of a right answer. It's going to give them a direction, but they are humble enough to step back and say, no, I'm not ready for this. I'm really going to hire an attorney instead of trying to use LegalZoom or some sort of copy and paste response that's generic and won't really help them grow. If you want to be successful in business, you want to make 6 figures in selling tea, which it's much more difficult to make $1 million a year selling tea than it is coffee, largely because coffee is a caffeine consumed beverage, and you need to understand that if you want to be successful, you have to be intelligent enough to understand your market, your margins, and your own capacity. That's self-awareness. Really, really important. My other point is humility. You got to be teachable. People who are intelligent can be very prideful. They're like, I know it, I'm very well experienced. Don't you know that I've done that, or look at all the stuff I've accomplished. Yeah, you can be very intelligent, but lack humility. You're not teachable. And we're seeing right now in live time, this is the end of 2025, there are tea businesses and industries that are really having a change with advancements in technology. This artificial intelligence is disrupting the market. I have a video about that. We'll put it right here. Disrupting the market, what you can do to avoid that and still kind of help your business grow. You have to be teachable. And if you work with me, definitely I'm going to pour into you as much as possible, because in the end, if you're successful, the whole tea industry is successful. And by the way, I make money not by doing consultant fees. I make money by selling tea. So if I'm selling tea to you, it's really in everyone's best interest to help you not only sell that tea, but make a profit. Finally, the last point, and there's many more I can give, but the last point, which I noticed on my list of things to be able to be successful selling tea, making 6 figures, $1 million plus, $100,000, not difficult your first year, is you have to be good with people. I found that people who are married typically do better than people who are single. Maybe you're in a committed relationship, yes, that's great, but people who are willing to take the investment to get married, I found successfully are just more likely to succeed in business. And by the way, this is not my personal opinion. You take a look at the most successful people in business, they're typically married. And that's usually because they have someone who's counting on them to bring home the bacon and not to screw it up, and they have some accountability. There's so many more psychological and sociological business aspects to that. If you are married, then you have another person in your opinion, and all that will help you to be successful. These are not rules, like hard rules. There's obvious exceptions. You can be dumb. You could be a college dropout. You're going to see in a lot of these videos out here that are people are selling a idea. Well, I'm going to sell you something that works, practical step-by-step guides, and this is all broken down in the free PDFs we download. It's actually mentioned in the first video. There are multiple PDFs that we offer on the website zenstea.com. The most recent one is how to sell tea online, because if you're watching this video, it's likely you want to start a tea business, and it's much easier getting started online. More information on online businesses and growing the tea industry on Zen's YouTube playlist. Take a look at Zen's website, zenstea.com. And if you're interested in doing business under the Zen's Tea House brand, go to our corporate website, zensteahouse.com. Hope you like this video.